Hello everybody, I'm coming on today to share with you the next prompt in the A to Z card challenge, which is a year-long challenge hosted by Lesley Bromfield, and we've reached I and J. So I thought the first thing that came to my mind was Iris, and I have a friend who loves irises, so I thought I'd make her a birthday card, and that will kill two birds with one stone. So let me show you what I did. Sorry, I just paused the camera there to take off the cellophane wrapper. So I had this image. It was part of a card that I'd been given. So I just fussy cut out the iris, and I've laid it up on some background paper that I made by it's a mop-up page actually, with I think it was some distress inks that I used. I can't remember the exact colors, but in fact, it's the mop-up page of the next card that I'm going to show you, where I use some distress inks. And so I just put a little squiggly border around it and some gems, and I mounted it on some paper which I felt went quite well. It was quite subtle. Put a black line around the border, and I mounted it on a yellow card base, which I think matches the yellow of the iris, and I just put happy birthday and peel-offs there. So I'm quite happy with this one. I think she's going to like it. And then the J caused quite a lot of problems for me. I was thinking, what can I do that's J? And I was asking the people that, my flatmates, and they came up with all sorts of ideas like jar and joy and all sorts of things like that. And I thought, but I cannot represent those. I had no idea in my head how to represent those words. So I decided eventually on jellyfish. And I had a stamp set in my collection which had this beautiful jellyfish on it. So I stamped out the jellyfish, the snail, and the fish, and I coloured them in, and I fussy cut around them, and I've stuck them on. And then for the base, I used the distress oxides, and I used a cloud die, no, not a die, a stencil, to try to get the clouds. I used all sorts of things here, because this was originally, well, I was trying to make it look like this, the bottom of the sea here with sand and these little stones, which I had from another stamp set. But I couldn't get the graduation, and I couldn't get the waves. So in the end, I can't remember exactly what I used, but I used the green distress oxide that I had thought, plus some turquoise, plus whatever else I had on hand at the time, to try and simulate the sea and a bit of movement. I don't think it's brilliant, but it was my first attempt at doing this sort of thing. And then I just put some little green squiggles here to represent seaweed. And then from the fish's mouths, I've put some little clear gems to represent bubbles and the happy birthday. And then I just drew these birds in the sky. There's always seagulls flying around in the sea, isn't there? So, and I mounted it on a buff colored card and put a black line around just to highlight it. So those are my two makes. I forgot to say at the beginning that we have to, the card size has to be 5 by 7 or larger. So sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge. Quite a few people are taking part in this collaboration, and their names will be listed in the description box below. Do go over and see what the amazing makes they have made, and it's quite interesting to see what images they choose for the different letters. Usually we come up with quite a variety, so it's really interesting. I think, oh, why didn't I think of that? So yeah, so I'm wondering how many people will have chosen jellyfish. I might be pleasantly surprised and find somebody else has as well. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and take care everybody, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye for now.